Hi everyone, my name is GlitchAston, and I'm going to be running Kirby Dream Land 3 80% for today. If my commentary would like to introduce themselves as well.
Yes, I am Darthel188. You probably saw me yesterday going through Kirby's Adventure and then deciding, do you want to see me do it again? And then do it again in the remake Meta Knight.
Yep. Kirby Dream Land 3 is actually really cool because it has a lot of cool fast tech and really cool two-player strats that hopefully I get to show off today. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Just gonna erase this first file. Time starts when I press start, so on 3, 2, 1, let's go. First things first, we're gonna reset. It just saves a little bit of time with the first cutscene here. So these first couple stages are actually just gonna be a bit straightforward because we don't get the fast tech until stage 3 here. So there's nothing really big of importance in the next couple of stages.
Other than the fact that Kirby's running speed is surprisingly quick, as you can see. Kirby just goes full tilt and doesn't leave full tilt.
Yeah, this is actually one more weirder Kirby games when it comes to momentum. Kirby actually runs faster in the ground than in like mid-air. When in mid-air, Kirby actually has like no momentum for some reason.
And same if he walks. If Kirby is walking, he moves very slowly in this game.
Yeah.
And in this next room, I guess we'll bring up the one thing that won't be happening in this run, and that is doing any of the special objectives.
Yeah. So in 80% we... Well, I should probably talk about Destiny. Destiny, you would typically get all the heart stars there in all these worlds. There are 6 stages in each world, and each stage has a heart star.
Each one has their own specific gimmick to them. For example, each first level has some sort of flower theme to it. The second one has another theme. The third one has like a mini game, so on and so forth.
Since we're doing 80%, we actually don't care about doing any of these. Typically, in the first stage, we would have to not step on any of the flowers right there, but since it's 80%, we actually have to step on one at least.
Yeah, if we don't we complete the objective. It is slightly slower because you have to actually watch the stars show up.
Yeah, and it also appears in the map screen as well, so it takes a bit of time.
If you collect it. You can actually just leave the stage without collecting it. But at that point, why did you even do it in the first place?
Stage 2 here, there's typically a person that we will have to meet, but since, again, we're doing 80%, we don't have to worry about that. Rest of the stages...
Yeah, if it's not clear, this run is made everyone sad.
Yeah, this is pretty much make everyone sad except one person, who for some reason actually lasts if you fail. Rest of the stage is pretty straightforward though, just go all the way to the end. But coming up here, we're actually going to be getting our pretty much main mode of transportation, I should say.
Yes, and also the reason that this run can be a little rough if you're not prepared.
Yep. This is Koo. Koo is a fat owl, and also an owl that'll make you hurt your hand.
Or, I guess, looks like an owl, apparently, because reasons, but...
Right, looks like an owl, not actually an owl, I forgot.
Yeah, his big thing is that by pressing B, you will he will flap his wings, and you will move faster, and how fast you move depends on how much you can mash.
Yep. Right here, we actually have a minigame, we want to fail it immediately. You might have seen that I spawned Gooey right before we went in, because Gooey actually helps us go to the door faster. There's small load tech like that in half these stages, so we're going to be doing that. Oops.
I was like, I wonder if you're gonna do that, and I was hoping that's not the outcome that would have happened.
That's actually the first time I failed in a while. Well, it's not the big deal. We can just jump back into the stage and get Coup right away. But that does mean I actually do have to do this next part without Coup. It really sucks dying in half these stages without Coup, because doing these stages without Coup is so much slower.
Yeah, not only is it harder to just do it in general, Kirby's invulnerability is very weird in this game. It's basically like 1 second under most circumstances. So it's very easy to just take a hit, take another hit, take another hit, and suddenly you're at like 2 health.
Yeah. It also does not help that the way that ability losing in this game works is if you get 2 damage pretty much simultaneously, you will drop the ability. Which does make it pretty consistent, but it also is kind of a pain because of how the damage works in this game.
Yeah, I forget what the exact interval is where you lose it.
Having stone here because it actually makes us go faster right here.
This is also an ability you would want if you were doing Best Ending, because there's a spot that actually requires stone to get through.
Yep, right here, actually.
Right there.
Again, we're not doing that, so we're actually going to be passing by. We're also going to be completing a boss here.
And skipping the music for that matter, this game is weird for some reason. If you're fast enough with invincibility, you'll just, the music just glitches out.
Yeah. I'll just take it slow right here. It's actually this health. Right here, we're just gonna get off Coup so we can actually break the blocks on top of us. I didn't break it good enough.
Or in that case, twice, because sometimes this game can be a little weird about what it constitutes as you've hit more than 1 block.
Yeah. I'll actually take a save and grab the health here. And with that, the 4th stage is pretty much done.
Oh, this is during 2P. I do wonder if you're trying to do the thing in 1.6.
If it's the one that I think of, we probably won't because we don't get stone in this run, so I can't clip.
Right, I forgot about that detail.
Yeah, but I will mention it though. Because it actually is a pretty cool thing that you can do. This is 1.5, there isn't actually much
There's really little to the stage. It's just hold right, mash B, move slightly differently depending on what's going on.
Yeah, this is the stage where you typically get Kind at the end, but again, we don't have to worry about that. But we will be seeing Kind later on in this run, because Kind's actually going to be very important in the second role of the game.
But for now, unfortunately, we need to make mine sad.
Alright, I forgot that's what she's called. So 1.6 is actually a pretty interesting stage, because well, I should say an interesting stage in Best Ending. Because in Best Ending, we actually get to use a pretty cool clip if we're doing 2-player strat. We would typically keep stone from, I believe, 1-4. And with Rick, we can actually clip through some of these walls at the top. If done correctly, it's actually really optimal in this room. Because it can save a lot of time and save a lot of like looping around and grabbing all these things for Best Ending.
Actually, you can avoid those without inhaling them, but you have to be moving very quickly to do it.
Yeah, I'm not trusting myself today. That one clip was actually found in the task as well, so it was kind of really cool that we were able to implement that in the run.
That said, don't forget, we are finally grabbing an ability to actually use for a little bit. So we have cleaning. This thing's weird. Like with Kirby, like it's a broom for Coup. We use Coup as a feather duster for some reason.
Yeah, it's another oddball. There's a lot of oddballs ability in this game, but it's definitely one of the more weirder ones. With that's 1/6.
That said, odd as it is, for anyone who isn't familiar with this run, that is actually probably like the second most powerful ability in the game.
Yep.
Because this is Wispy Woods. We're going to get rid of Dewey since Wispy would have more health, and as you can see, Wispy just kind of melts.
Yeah, that was Wispy, and gone in record time.
This game has a weird trait where, like, the more awkward it is to use the ability, generally the more powerful it is.
Yep.
So if you did if you did something like, say, 2 and Cutter, which in KDL2 that's amazing because it's like 3 attacks in 1, and it actually does really good damage. In this game, that same attack does like no damage, is a single attack, and it's very slow.
Yeah, it's weird how a lot of good Dreamland 2 abilities actually don't really translate well in Dreamland 3. It's weird, but it does give Dreamland 3 its own identity in a way.
That said, a lot of the time we're not going to want the ability unless we're explicitly about to fight a boss. So a lot of the time you're going to see Aston drop this ability, and either it's because they want something else later, or they're done with the ability, they don't need it anymore, they're just gonna toss it.
Yep. And again, this is the first stage of the new world, so this involves do something with flowers. We actually don't see it in this run because we actually don't go through that door, but typically we would grab cleaning and pitch, and we would actually water the plants.
Yeah, unfortunately, pitch is not what you're going to see in this run at all. Like this is very much Pooh's run.
Yeah.
and special death comedy.
And like 1% choo-choo.
Yeah, we'll come back to that topic later. She isn't important right now.
Sure. Speaking of Kind, we're actually going to be switching to Kind right now.
Yeah, as going to be expected for a place called Ripple Field, there was a lot of water, and what Pooh does in the air, Kind does in the water, as you can immediately see, just Kind just zooms through the water. Surprisingly, you don't have to match as heavy.
Nope. And there's actually a lot of, like, on-land movement with Kind, so we can take it slow at some parts. This is basically like a bit of a breather.
That said, if you do want a slightly easier time, you can actually grab Stone, and just use that through most of this stage, then get fired later.
Yeah. S22. 2-3 is actually a very important stage. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I'm not gonna go for it because I already died earlier, so I'm not gonna... That's my score right now. Oh, never mind. There is a really important skip in this stage that I actually will talk about when we get to it. It actually involves how 2-player works in this game.
Right, which I think is also a good time to explain what the difference is. So, basically, 2-player just means we use GUI. Like, we actually summon GUI, we take control of them with another controller, and actually use them.
Yep.
Most of the time, you'll see it for the mini games because GUI's like that right at the door. It's faster if we have GUI going to the door. But there are also a few different skips that can be done. One of the most prominent actually is in this stage, where if we were doing this, you would see Aston actually take time with Dewey, and then navigate the rest of this room blind.
Yeah. So there's there's a spark ability right before this auto scroller that we would typically pick up with GUI, and using that with Kind allows us to actually basically move around this auto scroller without being in it, essentially. The level is still loaded completely, even though Kirby isn't there. So technically, if you know this level layout with GUI, you could technically just skip all this and go to the auto scroller, and it escapes roughly 20 seconds if you could do it correctly.
It is, however, difficult to navigate for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and it's...
Like, you need to know the stage layout.
It's even worse if you mess it up, because that's pretty much a good chunk of time loss, and you have to do the auto scroller, so...
Yeah, I think I've seen someone once, trying to do it, get a ways into it, and actually managed to nope out so hard that he actually got back to Kirby to do the auto scroller.
Yeah. It's a really funny moment.
I wish I could find it, that would be a great thing to probably link in the chat for reference.
2.5 also has another auto scroll skip, but it's much harder, so definitely not pulling this off. The auto scroller starts right here, and typically we would keep Spark and GUI from last stage.
Yeah, you would do the same thing, pretty much navigate it blind, but it's... Despite it being harder, it's also easier to navigate because it's mostly vertical.
Yeah. But there definitely are some parts that, if you don't know this level layout, you probably will get lost. And...
Also, if we didn't have fires before this point, that would be where we'd grab it. And we do need that for the next stage, because there's a segment coming up where we need actually 2 abilities, and we need that for the first part of it.
It's funny you say that, we're actually not going to be doing that.
Oh, right.
Don't worry, 2-player. I actually will be mentioning it, though.
Right, 2-player strats. You don't have to care about it.
Yep. If you're doing no 2-player strats, it's best that you grab fire there, because you're going to need it for next stage. 2.5 is actually a pretty interesting stage, because this is a stage where you need to get pitch at the end, but you can't bring pitch into the stage. This is basically the first instance of what I like to call a puzzle stage in this game. If Kirby Dream Land 2 had the rainbow drop stages, which were kind of like how you get the ability to unlock the rainbow drops, this game has like stages like these where you have to get the ability the ammo friends to the end.
Animal friend or ability, or both in some cases. Just to give an example, like 2-1, you not 2-1, 2-2. The strat you use for that, if you want to get the heart start, is you... Right, I forgot about GUI.
Yep, that's what we do. Typically, we have to keep fire and get stone around this corner here, but we could just skip it all with GUI. I probably should pick up stone, but whatever.
But yeah, as I was starting to say, so what you would do in that stage is you would, pretty much you want someone that has like the weird umbrella thing on his head. The way the game interprets this is use Kind and Parasol, because Kind's Parasol attack has him just stick the Parasol about in his mouth. Which makes him happy.
Yeah, in 1-2 you just use Choo-Choo to touch a person, essentially. There's like some weird requirements for some of these stages, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the point is for that one, to be honest.
Maybe it's a joke, but I didn't get it.
Neither do I, to be honest.
Go to the end of the stage right here.
By the way, if you weren't aware, Kind moves very fast on land this time.
Yeah, unlike a complete opposite of Dreamland 2, Kind's actually pretty decent on land.
Yeah, KDL 2 Kind is quite literally a fish out of water. In this game, for some reason, Kind has decided to, forgo such limitations.
260
However,
is actually...
however, he can't fly.
Yeah, unfortunately he can't fly. So it's still not as fast as Goo. This stage here, we're actually just gonna be running through it with Kind because that's a little bit easier and a little bit easier on my hand as well, to say the least. But we are gonna be...
So the one instance that we see clean in with someone other than 2, and it is just to watch a plunger come out.
Yeah. We are going to be picking out clean because we're, of course, coming up to the boss of this world.
Which we will explain that when we get there.
Yeah, because there's actually going to be something really interesting that I'm going to be doing during that fight. And if you're wondering when I'm going to get Ku, it's actually right here. Because Ku is literally right at the end of the stage.
By the way, I hope y'all enjoyed Kind showing. That is pretty much it for Kind for the entire run now.
Yep. For pretty much the rest of this game, it's pretty much Ku. So coming up here, we actually have the boss of Purple Field. This is Acro.
Or you know, Orca spelled backwards.
Orca backwards. They're very creative that day.
Ah, you are doing Fred, I thought you might.
Yep.
So, in a weird slight... So, as I mentioned with Wispy, boss health changes when Dewey is summoned.
It's...
And we actually exploit that to get an extra hit on Acro. That means the underwater phase, which is far harder and really risky, and it's very easy to lose your ability and just go through pain. You only have to do 2 hits instead of 3.
Yep. Essentially, doing a weaker hit at the beginning allows us to do much stronger hits at the end.
Also, Dewey is second dead.
Yeah, I love some of these cutscenes. It's a shame that we skipped one already, but some of these are really good.
The first one's kind of tame, but that one's probably still one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's only funny if you actually play the other one too, and it's just a twist. So coming up here is Sand Canyon, and in my opinion, this is probably the hardest part of the run here, because there's not a lot of health between here and 3-4. So you're probably going to see me playing it a little bit safe for the next couple stages, so I don't actually lose Ku again and have to go back to 1-3, which we haven't mentioned is it takes a lot of time just doing that, so...
Pretty much if you lose Ku, 1-3 is our main stage to get him. Which is great, it's consistent, but it loses a lot of time, because you have... So you're in another level, you have to go back to level 1, go to 1-3, get Ku, leave the stage, go back to the overworld, go back to the level you were at.
Yeah.
And that's like 40 seconds.
Which is why I'm kind of glad that I lost with beginning this run, because now I don't have to worry about losing Ku at the end of the run. Hopefully.
As for the health wise, thankfully, this is why the gold game is very useful for that. You'll notice a lot of times there's usually like a certain amount of start points, which those differences for lives. We get 30 of them, but not usually important. One of them's also not usually important unless you're running really low on life for some reason. But the health is important in certain situations, especially if you're already pretty low. But it is a little precise. So you can't, there is a chance of running into a situation where you need health, and can't get it because you missed it. If it really comes down to it, thankfully, we can also summon Gooey for 1 health and eat him for 2 health.
Yeah, essentially you could have infinite life as long as you remember that trick. Hopefully I won't have to use it this run, because it does take a little bit of time to do that.
And if you're not taking control of Dewey, Dewey can sometimes just start doing things, and you don't want him to start doing things, trust me.
Yeah, AI in this game is not the greatest, so you typically want to inhale Gooey, right away.
Like for example, Dewey can just suddenly just wander off, or he sees an enemy, so he puts it in his mouth, and then when that happens, you can't inhale him until he spits it out, and he doesn't like to spit it out right away.
Yeah, GUI is loosely based on whatever movement you do, so you kind of have to hope that GUI does something correctly with your own movement. It's kind of weird.
Or in case if you are running 2P, you can also just press a button, make him where he doesn't do anything because he's player controlled, and then just do the thing. It's slightly slower though, so hopefully it won't come to that.
Right here, we typically get cleaning and actually do something in the next rooms. You typically use cleaning and you clean like the floor here. But of course you don't do that.
Yes, the puzzle where the solution is in the name of the ability.
Yeah. I might play it safe and grab the Maximus Mayo at the end of this stage, real quick. Because 3-3, in my opinion, is probably the hardest stage of this run. There's just a lot of random enemies placed in really awkward positions. And really tight quarters that Ku is not really like the best at navigating.
Oh right, yeah, the volcano stage where you have to also be careful to not use the burn and dash on the lava because you will take damage. You're not invincible during it.
Yeah. The Maximus Mayo is actually right here. Let's grab that real quick.
I never think to do that. I never thought to do that in my own runs. I just never thought, oh right, there's a tomato there. I just keep flying.
Honestly, I didn't know there's Maximus Mayo there until, like, a while back. They're right there. Okay. Time for the hard stage. This is the hardest stage in my opinion. If you could get through this, you could probably get through pretty much the rest of this.
Yeah, this entire stage is rough, like he's been mentioning. Like very tight spaces, enemies all over the place. You have to use the burn and dash constantly to get through. Until now. No, it's just Rap Zone.
Yeah, it just makes going down some of these parts faster. Oops.
It does have to make this room harder to deal with.
Yeah.
You see all these crabs on the floor. They'll just get kind of like move around until they stop, and then they start extending the claws. And then you have these weird spiky blocks that are just kind of annoying.
Yeah, discount blocks, as somebody called it in my stream the other day.
Yeah, if you have fire, you can just kind of use that sort of room, and it's safer, but it is a little bit slower.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, yeah.
Good navigation, though.
Yeah, that was actually really clean, though. Minus a few hits. 3.
Oh, yeah.
Not that bad.
Ooh, actually a low number.
Yeah, for the exact couple, you actually want like a really low number for the count. Because it actually takes like roughly a second for the person to count them. It's like one of the few instances of RNG in this run, which there actually isn't. So it's like the one good thing about Kirby Stream Line 3.
No, most of pretty much what you see is what you get. That's one of two mini games where that's not the case. And in both cases, it could be anywhere from 1 to 9, and you hope it ain't 9.
Yeah, if it's 9, that's really unfortunate. It's just bad RNG.
Funny enough, I think I've had a 1 happen once.
I think
I was like, oh, I have to actually press up to choose a different number.
Yeah. Oops. I completely blanked for a second there. I thought it was at the end.
They're kind of indifferent. Like, you tried.
3-4 luckily is not as bad as 3-3 because there's actually health like midway, and there's actually not that much enemies like in your way.
In fact, this first room is just It's going to be the classic. Kirby flies over everything, the end.
Yep. Just gonna go down here.
But there's not actually that many rooms like this in the run, so it's actually nice to see them until the game decides to body you like that.
Yeah, I don't know what's with that. Okay, good.
And it continues to try to.
I don't know what happened there.
This is why it's good that there is a tomato, and we can just fly to it.
Yep, we just stay on the ceiling here, and we should be roughly fine. Like, that enemy's like the one thing I have to worry about. And also flying in here by accident.
Yeah, if you fly into the ceiling, Kirby will actually stick to it, and we'll just keep flying along it. Sometimes this works in our favor because it means that like he'll stay kind of out of the way because of it. Other times we don't want it to happen because it puts us in the way. Or we keep flying up, you know, like with the tomato right there.
Also, I hope you like all this progress, because that's happening a lot during this run.
Kirby Dreamland and Otter Thrillers are a more iconic duo.
Yeah.
Or rather, Dark Matter Trilogy and Otter Thrillers.
I think we're already up to like 3 or 4 at this point. Oh.
Yeah, this team and Dreamland 2 are great, but they love their Otter Thrillers.
A bit too much, to be honest.
And unlike the other ones, there's not really any skip in that one.
Yeah, unfortunately there's no really big skips found yet when it comes to the other colors in this game. Minus like the first 2.
This is also one of the few instances of a cameo from a different game. If memory serves, I think those 2 are Danbei and Hikari. I think that seems right.
I believe so. It's actually been a bit since I've looked into a lot of the Dreamland 3 characters, because they're all actually based off of something.
Yeah, and in that case, it is also a Japan-only game, so if anyone knows anything from it, it's almost exclusively because of Smash.
Yeah.
Also, we have Dewey Take 2, so Kirby to just free fall. But now we're done with them. Also, I hope you like Otter Thrillers, because we have another one.
Yep, and this one's actually a pretty long one. So if you have time to stretch, because, my god, we have a lot of time.
Or if you want some to kill the time, if you've liked any of the other, if you like this run, if you like any of the other runs, if you like, the trifecta of Pokemon runs that are coming up after this, definitely donate.
Yeah, please donate. We're going to...
Also, we need to enter that room, say hi to Choo Choo, leave.
Yeah,
don't elaborate at all.
It's not Choo Choo's time yet, but we do enter that door just to advance the Aldous Roller.
Also, these doors are mimics.
Yeah.
Don't trust them.
The third one's actually Gorilla. I need to get fire real quick, because we're actually going to be grabbing Cutter. Not because it's good, because we actually need it for like one moment here. It's because of these one blocks that you actually cannot do a no ability run in this game.
As you can see, Two and Toad in his name kinda sucks.
Yeah. We're actually going to be using Kirby here because it actually makes this part a lot easier. That's actually fine. I don't like my health though.
Yeah, so that room is probably the hardest room in the entire game. It's blocked just so many. There's tons of enemies. If you're using Ku, you have to take damage. There's no way around it, unless you either drop Ku or use someone else or do the Dewey strat.
Or do it the painful strat and use Ku cover.
But it's not.
Yeah, just don't. It's much easier just to spawn Dewey there and just run through with Kirby.
Also, this thing is actually very neat, but we're not going to see almost any of it.
Yeah, so this is typically like a 7-minute stage for best ending, but since we're doing 8%, this is like a 1-minute stage.
Yeah, there are several paths. There's also this room where you can get every ability in the game, which is incredibly useful, both for the puzzles and for our own needs. We're actually grabbing Parasol this time because we don't actually want to use 2.
Yeah, Parasol actually makes this next boss a little bit easier. Oh, I missed that.
We will be taking 2 into the fight, but Parasol is also very strong when Kirby is using it, by just smacking enemies with it instead.
Yeah.
Now, if we did the stage normally, each of those rooms have a unique puzzle to them, and each one of them gives you a part. If you did all 5 parts, you would actually get a lovely image of Rob.
Yep. And this person here, I believe, is actually the creator of Rob or something like that.
I don't remember their name, but I know they're related to it. Like the games that use Rob also use them.
Yep. So this is Pawn and Con. This is probably the biggest part of RNG in this game.
And our solution is to just float a parasol into their face.
Oh. I'm not fast enough for that one. I'll just take it slow. Oh, that's bad RNG.
Yeah, so Pawn and Con can, they will go from one side to the other, and sometimes they won't come out at all and just have, I guess, their children come instead.
You could just get very unlucky and have nothing but the small ones spawn for 3-4 cycles.
Now, you can use cleaning to do that fight, but it is much harder because the downfall of using 2 is, but good as 2 is, having 2 means your hitbox is much bigger. It's much easier to take damage.
You also cannot move when you're doing that, so typically what will happen is you will hit him and then
you'll trade, you will take a hit. Compared to using Parasol, which might be a little more awkward because it's just base Kirby movement, but if you did good with the fight, Parasol definitely shreds through that even faster.
Yeah.
If RNG is on your side. If RNG is on your side, there ain't nothing that's saving you.
We're entering World 4 here, and World 4 is actually kind of an oddball world, because it's kind of... It has hard parts like Sand Canyon, but not as, like, ridiculous parts. I would definitely say it's much easier than Sand Canyon. But it does have an interesting stage coming.
Also, that matter, you'll see that there are several animal friends as we go through them. Yeah, each of them are actually upset.
Yeah.
Because we have chosen an animal friend over them, and each one has like some flavor of dejected wood.
It's even more funny when you actually choose them right in front of them.
Yeah, they also do like a little shock expression, like, wait, what? How could you? And like, for example, like Pidge, if they like kind of squints at you and then starts very loudly yelling.
There's actually a Maximus May here. I'm just gonna grab it real quick. It's like right here. It's a really fast one.
Also, I mentioned you're not invincible while using the burning move. I lied. Technically, you are, but it really depends on what you're doing. Like, for stuff like shotgun bullets, enemies, giant boulders, perfectly invincible. A-okay. Lava? No. For some reason, that doesn't work.
This section's kind of a pain, because the camera does not cooperate with you, so you have to kind of.
And it's also very stop and go. You'll want to use the burning attack to get through the rock, and then probably end it early so you don't hit an enemy in the process.
So that's actually why you saw me pick up burning earlier, because we actually needed for that one section to make it a lot faster.
It's also probably the ability we use the most outside of cleaning in the run, because of its relative safety.
Yeah, it's just really versatile with what it can do. Coming up here, we have my favorite stage.
Oh yes, the best stage, the hold right, mash B, and hope your hands don't hate you afterwards stage.
This is, I think, 7 screens of mashing, so it's kind of
It's just an endurance test. Of the worst kind.
There's nothing really of value of this stage, to be honest, even in Best Ending, because Best Ending you just pick up Needle literally at the end of the stage. This is literally just a stage of just mashing and pressing right.
And in the case of any percent, it's also just the stage of hold right, mash B, press Y a couple of times because enemies.
Yeah, like right here.
Stage a turtle to the back apparently.
Here.
Also, we comment that nothing goes on to say, yeah, that's only because we're flying up and above everything. If we weren't doing that, this stage is actually incredibly tricky and kind of a pain.
Yeah, there's like a legit stage at the bottom.
But like we promise you, there's actually a stage down there. We just don't want anything to do with it.
This is where you pick a Needle. Oh god, my hand.
Yeah, this is always the stage where after I've done it, I'm like, my hand hurts and I hate this run now. And thankfully, like, the next stage gives you like an auto-scroller so you can actually rest your hand.
This is the end, I believe.
So the one auto-scroller we actually kind of like because it's like a minute of just kind of vibe.
Yep. Oh, okay, I'm gonna stretch after that one, oh my god. So we'll go through a little bit of the stage real quick before we get to the yellow shoulder.
Also, one of the rare instances where we have to use 2 in the border, and everything still applies. He still moves faster the more you mash, but now it's slower.
Yeah, you'll see me dip up here so we can actually just use burning a little bit. Because if you actually burn at the top of the water, you'll actually use the momentum. Actually don't need the help here, but I'm just gonna grab it anyway. What is it this time?
Guaranteed it's gonna be the blue one.
Yellow, okay.
No, it was actually yellow, which was the same number.
I thought blue was fine.
Oh, it might have been.
It works. Here's the long haul scroller. Okay, everyone, get the stretch, because this goes wrong.
Yeah, yeah, all we do is just hold up and right to save, or hold right to save there, and then we just... Thankfully, we did. It gives us a chance to rest after, you know, the marathon session of last stage.
I just need to remember to actually get in the door, because I've actually had time to forget. This is also a reminder to hydrate, everyone. I hope everyone's morning's going well.
Yeah, so if you haven't done it yet, maybe, you know, over than hydrate, for that matter, if you're like, okay, I want coffee, well, actually, no, you probably don't have enough time to actually fully do it before the off-roller's done, but...
You can grab a snack. Never mind, you can't anymore, I'll do it.
I hope you don't have to snack in the meantime. We should have said something sooner.
Okay. 4-4 is coming up, and 4-4 is actually not that bad of a stage. It's actually kind of a fast-paced stage because of all the air currents.
Also, the upper stage where you get to hear Gourmet Race at Home. Except Gourmet Race at Home is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually a really good remix of Gourmet Race. There's a lot of air currents in the stage, so this is pretty much like a stage built for Ku. You even see the camera just trying to catch up at points.
The camera wants to catch up, but for that brief moment, we have effectively gone from Kirby to Sonic somehow. Like if you've played any of the 16-bit Sonics, or even some of the later ones, you'll know how the camera can be kind of struggle, and that's what happens here. Unfortunately, this also means if we're not careful, we just, like, speed into an enemy, and that's kind of that.
Yeah, just have to be careful at points. Here we have a boss.
We finally have a mini-boss for the first time. This Jumper Shoot.
He has a colorful name that we will not be saying here.
Oh, also, that was Jumper Shoot. It doesn't really do a whole lot.
He doesn't do a whole lot if you have an ability. But if you don't have an ability...
If you don't, it is pain.
It's faster to literally reset the stage and just get an ability and fight them down. There's a reason why nobody likes Jumper Shoot.
Unless it's KDL2, and that's only because you can take it out reasonably fast.
Yeah. That done.
But by the way, good job on not accidentally pressing left in that one room with the top.
Trust me,
I've done that.
As someone who's run both vents ending and any percent, I have to remind myself which one's which.
Yeah, that's even worse. I think one time I forgot what room I was in, grabbed it, I was like, oh, well, that's awkward. Unlike a lot of the other ones, you can actually skip the hard sword showing up, though, but you have to fly, like, to the top of the room. Like, so you can, like, clear the, go above the trigger.
Yeah, it's like the, I think it's the only instance thing about it. This stage...
Also, this stage is, like, meant for Rift, actually.
But, Ku literally breaks out of it.
Ku breaks in half because, well, let's tell you, Ku breaks almost everything in half when given the chance. With Rift, this is honestly a very neat stage, but also a very tricky stage because it's all platforming. And if you don't know, like, how Rift can just climb walls, something that the game does not tell you unless you sit on the title screen until it specifically shows that stage.
Yeah, this is pretty much how to use Rift the stage. You know, literally at the end of the game. And I'm pretty sure that's pretty much the only instance of needing to use the wall climbing ability of Brick. Well, in Dreamland 3.
At least outside of... using it unintentionally, or... oh, you know about it, so you're just gonna mess with it.
Here... This is just another normal stage, to be honest. It does have breather moments like this because we have to wait for him to actually clear the blocks.
Yeah, it's also weird, like a weirdly symmetrical stage. Like, you pretty much go, like, you'll hit like a halfway point and then do like a bunch of it in kind of reverse order. Unfortunately, the propellers don't like us right now.
Yeah, this room has a lot of propellers. It's even worse when you have the ones corresponding to your color. We spawn Gooey here to take Ku because it's actually a lot easier. He'll Gooey back, and then we just back to the stage. This part is actually kind of tricky. They actually fool you here, thinking that it's going to be the last one, but no, it's actually the second to last one they need.
Yeah, these ones are weird, and they're actually in a different order than you think. And if you go to the wrong one, there's a tip waiting for you to just poke you.
Actually, don't need clean anymore. Or fire.
I was about to say, yeah, it's time for cleaning again.
Yeah, because we're coming up to the boss stage again. I'm just gonna grab some health here and there.
Also, the room after this one, tries to throw a fast one, because, suddenly, oh no, they come to life. Who could have done this?
Yep, I'm actually just gonna take a save from here and just grab this.
As the Barber tries to come after you for it. I usually go for it, but I'm usually pretty good at the goal game.
I'm not good at goal game, which is why I don't bother. This is
That's fair. Anyway, this is Ada. Totally not out of line.
Dreamland 2's greatest hits coming at you.
Yeah, this boss's gimmick is that the paintings will come to life after they're completed, and you will fight them. But yes, all of the bosses are Dreamland 2 fights. So for example, we had Ice Dragon, now we have Sweet Stuff.
And then here's Mr. Shine and Miss Bright.
One of the last appearances of them as a boss.
Unfortunately.
In fact, I think it is the last appearance of them as a boss outside of, like, remakes.
Yeah.
Also, when you take down one of them, the other will start coming at you more aggressively. And in this case, I think it's Mr. Shine is the sign. But basically turns into an angry DVD menu.
It's alright.
Also, this is Kracko.
Kracko's probably the hardest part about this, so I'm probably gonna take this a bit safe, but Kracko actually can make really good luck. Wow.
That was a really good Kracko. And then finally, after all of that, Adam decides to go after you personally, and Adam has, like, no health.
Yep. Edo literally dies at one hit. You could run into Edo and Edo. Done.
Yeah, you can also just take a hit and Edo just crumples, apparently.
Going to Flower World game, Iceberg.
And also another fun cutscene.
With all of the Dreamland 3 friends.
I love that one, because not going Choo-Choo understandably freak out, and Kirby is just smiling the whole time, like... But, like, Kirby doesn't care, Kirby just vibe into the situation.
Yep. Oh, I probably should get rid of that guy. 5-1's actually not that bad, but I tend to lose a lot of my health here, so I'm
other than this room is pretty tricky with the Rockies trying to roll down after you, the Galbos. Attack you when you come near them.
And there's spiders, like, right there.
Yeah, and the Tromos, for good measure, the Tromos are also a pain.
But there's, like, health at the end right there, so just grab that real quick. This is the part where you actually need fire for. You actually need to defrost these flowers, like I accidentally did right there.
Yeah, I think you can also still crush them after the fact.
You sure can, for some odd reason. And you fail the mission if you do that.
If you're wondering, for one, you're supposed to clean the flowers for cleaning, but if you clean them too hard, they also just wilt.
I think 3-1's still my favorite, where it's literally just mushrooms and flowers, and you have to give them flowers instead.
Yeah, that one it said you crush the flowers because the one you're helping is a giant mushroom who does not like the flowers.
They're all based off of something. It's a shame that I just don't remember at the moment. Okay, 5-2 here is actually...
This is probably... I think I said earlier about one of the stages being like one of the hardest in the game or something, or having one of the hardest.
Oh, I want to get indoor. I'm actually gonna be grabbing ice here real quick. Because ice that's gonna make the next room a little bit easier for me. If I don't die, that is. Now I hope you like Oz Rollers, because this is another one. I'm taking a lot of damage.
We also have to be careful here. If we stay too high, there is a chance that we don't get to the door below us, and then we get caught in the avalanche and eventually die.
Yeah, I've had an instance where I've almost died because this Oz Roller kids wasn't paying attention. Like, right here.
Like right there. And if you thought that was bad, right behind that, we also then have we go into a volcano.
Yeah, I'm actually just gonna inhale gooey real quick so I could get a little bit of health back. I'm just gonna play it a little bit safe right now. Oops. We can beat this guy and we can actually run all the way across this one.
Yeah, as long as we keep going, we have no risk of going into the lava, thankfully.
There we go. And there's actually a bunch of health in this one room, so let's see, play it a little bit safe. There we go.
Yeah, the game is suspiciously generous, and that is because we're not doing auto solos. Here's another one.
Yeah.
And this one moves a lot faster.
And there's also
it's a lot easier to die.
There's also enemies at the top, so I have to be careful. I can't actually, like, autopilot.
No, if you autopilot here, you overshoot the door, and then it is very much guess I die.
Yep. But after these three, it's right here.
Also, we have yet another cameo.
Yeah.
Can't believe Samus Aran from Kirby Dream Land 3 got her own game.
Yeah, no,
series.
it's crazy. But yeah, there's Metroids in that stage. You would typically use ice because Metroids, they're weak to ice. A nice little callback.
And this is a stage where in 80% you are glad you're running 80% and you thus do not have to care about anything related to Kawasaki's minigame.
Yeah, this is probably the worst minigame of the bunch. It's a sound-based minigame, and if you're not good at distinguishing sounds, this is gonna...
Or you know, if you have, like, legitimate troubles with sounds, it is easily the least accessible minigame in the entire thing. If you're doing best ending, it's also just a pain because you have to try to memorize the sounds. It is very hard to actually do that in practice.
Yeah.
And if you fail a minigame, you have to start the entire stage over, get back to the minigame, and then try again.
Keep in mind that this is an auto-scroller.
Yeah, in this stage, you also have to go through this auto-scroller every time. If that sounds like absolute hell, that's because it is.
But hopefully we're actually...
It is here and ready to kill your run at any moment.
Yeah, this is pretty much the run killer stage, unfortunately. And you can just fly it up here. I think the door's actually coming up right here. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you might need to move one to the right.
Yeah.
To the left, sorry.
It's the 4th and 5th ones they need to break, right there. Okay, I actually do need to pay attention, because I actually need to...
Right, we still have to actually play the mini game, but this time we have to do it to fail deliberately, like we've done with the others.
Okay, good.
And we have successfully failed the mini game.
I've had a time where Kawasaki has done the first one, so I actually do need to pay attention there.
I think I've seen someone actually do the first one and actually won the mini game.
Yeah.
Which is even funnier.
Is a case where you typically just this is the one minigame that you don't want to do correctly. Because it just takes forever. I'm gonna calculate real quick. So yeah, Kawasaki is real pain in best ending, which is why it's kind of a meme with literally my community.
Yeah, I guess it's worth bringing up the Fight 3 mini game image from one of the Kirby relays, which we have a number of those coming up later this month, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that like at the end of this relay, or end of this run, that we actually are gonna have a bit of a community event coming up soon. I mean.
You did the mistake of moving in this room.
Did I? Oh no, I didn't. Okay.
No, not good enough. Now all the golfers hate you.
Yeah, you don't want to move in this room or else you aggro one side.
And it is very hard to like fix it where you don't. Otherwise, the stage is a lot of just neat navigated.
Yeah. This room, I'm just gonna kind of stuff, but yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways you can do that, or if you're really good at aligning yourself with like the center, you can actually do that and just mash your way through.
Yeah, that's actually what.
Do what?
That's actually what I meant to do, but I completely forgot. Yeah, you just align yourself in the middle right there and just assault them. This is the other stage, which kind of needs the ability. This stage needs fire or to pass through here. And you typically use fire to actually get the best ending object right there.
And regardless, we still have to fight a mini-boss. Although this one isn't that bad, but it has the unique trait of doing stuff that removes its head, and then it can't take damage until the head is back on the body.
Yeah, this one can be a bit of a pain because there's some attacks that it does that just completely suck. But luckily, that one wasn't actually that bad. I got stuck on stealing it. And for the rest of the stage, it's actually just a simple run to the exit.
You're opening that one back.
Yeah, I've had that bad too. I probably should grab the health because I know when stage coming up.
That would have probably been a good idea, especially because this is also a very difficult stage. This one is also a unique puzzle in that you actually want Nago, and you're going to see some animal friends. I'm not going to say anything else about that. You're going to see some animal friends.
Yep.
Lots of animal friends.
This is what I like to call the gauntlet. Because there's like 20 to 30 plus rooms in this one stage alone.
Yeah, and this room alone has a way of absolutely shredding your health if you mess up any bit of that movement.
Yeah. Keep in mind that your invincibility frames in this game are not long.
Yeah,
so,
again, you have 1 second per hit.
Health there, but it takes way too long, so I'm not gonna bother. There is health in this stage, but it's like literally at the end, so I have to play it safe. I say as I not play it safe. There we go. Yeah. The best part is, even I don't remember what half these rooms are. So it's kind of a surprise to me too. I can't even think. Are we even at the halfway point? No, not yet. This stage goes on for a while, so. But there is this part. If you're holding right there, you will just get ambushed by that fire Galbo. Through here. There's a room where we just go to the door. This is pretty much the stage in a nutshell. And this is pretty much what the health is. There's a little bit more right here, I believe. And I think after that we're pretty much in the clear. Yeah, because this is pretty much the end. And that's 5-5. So you might have noticed that Nago was not in that stage at all. Nago, you cannot get in that stage. You actually have to get Nago somewhere else. It's the only stage in the game that's like that. You know, I just realized... Hold on. I forgot one thing. You need to get rid of cleaning by right here and actually grab cleaning. I say as I can miss cleaning. Take a lot of damage, but I'm fine. There's actually help, like, right up there. So 5-5 is what I like to call 7-2, if you know what's happening. There's a lot of health, there's a lot of mini-bosses in this one stage. This is where the health is. Yeah. We're actually going to be picking up a party member that we've seen a couple times already in this run. We're going to be picking up Choo Choo. Choo Choo and Clean is actually, like, really good because it pretty much decimates bosses and allows you to move freely, unlike Ku. So you actually see, like, right here. I'm just gonna do this, and that's boss. We're pretty much gonna be doing that for the rest of the bosses here. Oh, and you also have to make sure you don't run into them. And also not lose Clean. Go. And because there's actually no like spark or cutter boss, they just put a bunch of cutter enemies and spark enemies in their respective rooms. this is the only boss that takes 3 hits, by the way, for some reason. What's that? Just can't say it. These are pretty much all the bosses that you would fight if you were.
There we go, finally.
Oh, you're back. Welcome back.
Yeah, so for some reason, Discord in Windows was not outputting my microphone for the last several minutes.
That was weird. I was like, oh.
And I've been trying to troubleshoot it this whole time.
Well, don't worry. You missed the stage. There wasn't much going on there. Welcome.
Yeah, because I was bringing up the Nagar thing before you did, and then I was like, why is this one not doing lighting up anymore? Also, this is DDD, so Flight says coming up, not here. There's 2 phases.
Yep.
Because, oh no, he's possessed.
I can't believe it. That never happens. I'm taking a lot of damage. Oh, I actually got the...
And this is actually a very good pattern,
and...
which means, that's it.
Oh, I need to stop the timer. Yeah, that was actually really good RNG. And that was Kirby Stream on 3, 90%. Ironically, yeah. I was actually really close to PB at one point.
I mean, that's still pretty good. But, yeah. This run is actually pretty good, but it is very match heavy, so it is hard to recommend sometimes because of it.
Yeah, the hard thing about recommending this run is that it's very taxing on your hand. If you can do it, this is probably a really fun run for you. There are a lot of cool tech, but it's all depending on if you can manage to mash. But instead of that, thank you all for watching. If I could throw a couple shoutouts real quick. Thank you, Dark Soul, for coming to me for run real quick. Shout out to Kirby Sphere community, really great place. Also, place to learn different types of runs.
Yeah, if you want to learn this run or the runs I did yesterday, definitely feel free to join it. You can find it through speedrun.com, and we'd be glad to have you.
And like I said earlier, we actually have our annual Kirby Series Relay coming up in a few weeks, actually. So if you want to see really cool, awesome runs done by awesome people in this community, by all means, come check it out. And I think with that, I'm pretty much done. I'm Aston, I do speedruns as well, and yeah. Thank you all for having me.
Yep, same to me for that matter.